Hey everybody, today's words to live by are: compare yourself to who you were yesterday, not to who someone else is today. And that wise quotation is from Dr. Jordan Peterson. He's actually, I had heard that one many years ago because I was an earlier sort of listener to some of his lectures before he became, a huge celebrity and a huge, I guess, success and somewhat of a controversial figure, I think, because of his success. But I heard this in one of his early lectures, and it really shaped me, especially in my adult life, in my 30s and into my 40s. And I think the point here is easy to comprehend, but it's sometimes difficult to put into practice because of the way our society works and the way media sort of runs and what we're exposed to every day. But really, the main take from this is that comparing yourself to other people steals your own momentum, and comparing yourself to yesterday's version of you actually is something that you can build honestly and transparently and incrementally, one little win at a time. So when we look at celebrities or people in the public eye, that we sort of look at them and say, "Oh, I wish I had his life," or "I wish I had her life." We see all of the things that they have, right? Whether it's money or it's fame or cars or houses or love or, whatever, any number of things that we're able to see sort of in the public eye or that gets filtered to us. We actually miss so much of what those people are carrying. And they could be carrying unthinkable trauma and all of these very heavy things inside because we never know what problems people are carrying in their own lives. And so there's so much that we don't know when we just look and compare ourselves to somebody else's situation and say, I want that. And so this quotation reminds me to say, no, I don't want that. I don't want what anyone else has. In fact, I just want to be a little bit better than I was yesterday if I can. And I think it is easy for us to measure. I don't think that it is biased against anybody because I do think that everybody has the opportunity to look at one aspect of their life or their overall well-being and say, I want to be a little bit better today than I was yesterday. And it's measurable, and it's measurable based on how you feel, and sometimes it's measurable in data. You can be smarter or faster or whatever based on what the numbers are showing you, but oftentimes it's how you feel, and it's just this knowing of, I am better today than I was yesterday. And it took me a long time for me now, with a 5 as the first digit of my age, to be able to say I am the best version of myself today than I've ever been because I was a little bit better than I was yesterday. And so I think if you can start stacking those incremental wins up, I think you look up a month, 6 months, a year, 5 years, 10 years later, and you're saying, wow, this has been a really interesting, fun, joyful journey because I've been able to show a little bit of improvement along the way that I can tell. Who cares if anybody else can tell it, but I can tell it. And I think that's a good place to be. And I think that's something that I probably wouldn't have had a grasp of if I hadn't heard this particular quotation from this particular lecture from Dr. Peterson. And so here is another added benefit of taking this approach. It steers us away from any possible envy. And because when you look at someone else and you compare yourself to someone who has more whatever it is, whether it's money or love or property or cars or whatever it is, when you are steered away from people who seemingly have more, then you avoid envy. And so you don't let envy sort of creep in. And it's dangerous when envy creeps in because envy is not jealousy. Envy is something that seeks to destroy. You look at something else and you say, I am envious of that and I must destroy it because otherwise I will never reach that. And so it's a really dangerous thing. And we've seen unchecked envy countless times in our lives and across our society and sometimes even in our homes. And it's not pretty. And so I think the simple takeaway for today is compare less, improve more, and beat yesterday. It's that simple. So I hope you enjoyed today's reflection, and if you did, please like and or subscribe, and I will see you all again soon.